Hello, and welcome back to another Pen Talk. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining me as I explore the international wide world of pens. And I got two packages today. These were orders I placed on AliExpress a little bit over 2 weeks ago, so relatively fast delivery. When I order on AliExpress, they now have an option of delivering via the US, and somehow these did that. They show up in New York City first and then eventually make it through customs to me. I know what's in these. This is 2 sets of Kaigelu nibs, those great ground nibs from Kaigelu. And in here are 3 Kaigelu 316s of various colors. As you can see, it's just a very nicely wrapped package. I don't do many unboxings live, so we're gonna take a crack at this one. It's always a interesting scenario of opening up these well-wrapped packages. Camera gets in the way. So lots of bubble wrap, lots of tape. Let's finish the unwrapping and look at the pens. So after going through tons of bubble wrap and tape, I have these 3 pens, which are in generic boxes, no labeling on them. But it survived shipment extremely well. And as we slide out, we'll see the first one. And I just wanted to get more 316s, and these colors just intrigued me. And the section is what I would expect. Yeah, now I have those nice nibs to replace these with, but these are certainly good looking nibs in their own right. Threads are good. I've had an issue with one pen with threads. So as we slide out the next one, we'll see another beautiful resin. Kind of hard to describe. Very dark swirls in a nice pearlescent ivory material. And the section's the same material. So again, very impressed. Very substantial, well-made pens. And last but not least, I would assume, is another pen. I couldn't tell a lot from the pictures what this would be like, but it's just a nice pearlescence with a little bit of color there. So it's just nice. It's hard to say anything else about it. And we have that white section to go with the end finials. And we have that interesting Kaigelu at the top of the nib, top of the cap. And we have one there. And we have a different one in this kind of pale blue, somewhat of a turquoise. So that's something different. And there looks like there could be at least one baby there. So is Kaigelu expanding their series? I would say yes. We're going to compare these to some of the other new models that I have. The cap band is the first thing that is different. But I just enjoy this pen, writing with it. I have tons of them inked up, and I use them regularly. And the 4 nibs just came in this plain plastic envelope, obviously wrapped in a ton of bubble wrap. They came through fine, and they're going to be used in some of those new 316s I just got. Here are all 13 of my Kaigelu 316s, and the majority of these were purchased in 2021 because I just got enamored with the design, the changes that they made to the design, and the nibs have always been great, but they've gotten better. So this first one here we'll call Tiger's Eye, was reviewed in September of 2017. I've created a Kaigelu playlist, which I'll put a link in the video description. So if you want to see in-depth reviews of any of these pens, please look at the playlist. And then 2 years later, I got this black and ivory one, classic colors, and very similar to that date, I got this very nice executive looking one, which is kind of like a dark gray marbling. Of course, then I went to the exact opposite level and got this lemon yellow one, and that was in December of 2020. So then all these here are 2021 purchases. These are the new design. You can see how the cap band has changed, and the cap finial and the barrel end of the barrels are the same acrylic along with the section as the whole pen. So here was more of a classic dual fold design with the black finials and the black section. Here they made that change with the cap band and also using the same materials, and I got a bunch of those. And then these last group here have me a little bit surprised, because now they have white finials and white sections. At least these two do. But they're back to the old design of the cap band, which is a little bit confusing. And this one has a different finial. It doesn't have that acrylic dome with the kangaroo in it. But they do have, you know, the same top and bottom of the pen. So it's hard to know what's going on in the Chinese pen world and the models and the designs. And I think distributors might have a say in the pens that are made and sold. And maybe they're taking parts from other pens, because you can, since the model changed, these finials unscrew. So I could easily make an incredible Franken pen from any of these pens here in the later part of the series. I'm not going to do that, but I could if I wanted to. The other major change from these classic ones, which had a lot of brass parts, I think the cap finial and the barrel finial and the section may have been brass that was enameled and painted black. So these pens are very heavy. We'll give you the weights. The transition model here is the lemon yellow one, and then these became lighter, and I think they make for a better writing experience because of the lighter weight. So we'll give you that transition of weights of these models of the Kaigelu 316. The nibs also went through a transition. Here's the original nib. And then it evolved into this design. All two-tone versions, but different ways in which the two-tone is done. And in the middle here is that ground nib that they recently introduced, which I now have 6 of them. And one of them is in this pen, and I'm probably going to put one in one of the new ones that I just got. But again, I'm just impressed with the changes that they've done over time. And here you can see the 3 different types of sections. The classic black one, which was brass. Then here is the same color of the cap and barrel in the section, and here the section is white. And yes, when you ink up the pen, it's a good idea to clean this section off right away so you don't get any staining. I haven't gotten any staining so far, and I've been using some pretty saturated inks, but it doesn't hurt to be careful. So here are 3 in what I would call a black pearlized swirl acrylic. A lot of pearlescence, chatoyancy, however you want to describe it. This is the older model, and I do think this is a very classic design of this material. And this is the second one I got, which is not quite as well defined. It's more swirled together, and there's also some other colors in here. And this is the latest one that I got, which again is slightly different. You know, it's kind of in between these two. So if I'd put them in like of a transition order, this is how I would do it. Because this one, like I say, has some other colors in it. This one is, again, a little bit more black than pearl. This is more pearl than black, but still 3 classic acrylics and a classically designed pen that writes extremely well. It feels good in the hand, say no more. Let's take a look at what other models are available in the 316. Here's a whole series of the ones with the original cap band, many varieties. And here's another view of those. Just an amazing quality of pen. And here's the model that has the new band on it. And if you look at the finial, the ones that have the white finials also have an interesting inlay in the top of the cap. Let's take a look at ordering the pen on AliExpress. Here's one example. As you click on the different little thumbnails, you'll see how the color looks showing up on the left. Price stays consistent, which is very nice. And as you can see, there's a phenomenal amount of colors. If you click on one that the color is sold out, you won't see it show up in the left and therefore won't order. We also need to take a look at the Jinhao 100, which I think is a direct competitor with the 316, but a different style. It also comes in a check pattern, but it costs a little bit more money. And also comes in some solid color models. I actually bought the blue one. It will arrive shortly. So I decided to ink up the Tefuluan, which has something to do with bouquets, but I couldn't find much about it. Of course, I decided to use a new ink. You know, one of the Trammel inks that I've gotten. And so far, I have to say that I'm very happy with them. A nice bottle. 18 milliliters, a somewhat strange size. And this doesn't have any glitter in it, but it does do some sheening. Here's the color card. It is definitely in the blue family, and you can definitely see the sheen there. I think it's a very saturated ink. A lot of sheening inks are very saturated. If we look at the chromatography, we'll see blue. No water resistance, ink just runs away. Light blue, darker blue, and then at the very top, a very, very dark blue. So it's an interesting ink. Let's see how it works in that extra fine nib. I think you might like it. So now we come to the editorial portion of this video. So some of you may ask, Chris, why do you have so many pens of the same model? And to me, it's a simple answer, because I enjoy collecting. I enjoy experiencing the many varieties of a product that I enjoy. Can I use every one of them to their fullest? No, but that doesn't detract from my enjoyment of having this in my hand, being able to look at it with my eyes, not with a picture or another video, but me. And it brings me joy. And I enjoy doing videos, and I enjoy having content in my videos, and I enjoy changing the videos just slightly. I'm not going to do a left-hand turn. And yes, I do have an e-bike video, and hopefully I will start filming those again. I'm feeling like that's ready. But this Kaigelu 316, I think, is just an excellent pen. And the cap comes off in a little less than 2 turns. It fits great in the hand. If you want all the details on dimensions or whatever, you can look up some of the other videos in my Kaigelu 316 playlist. As with all dual-fold designs, it does technically post, and it does stay on slightly, but not something I would do. So one may ask, what do you do with the cap that doesn't post? Well, one thing you can do, if you have a notebook, is just click it on a few pages. I always carry a pen case with me, so the cap goes into the pen case so it doesn't get lost or misplaced. So as I mentioned, I enjoy collecting. I've always enjoyed collecting since I started collecting rocks when I was in my single digits in age. And rocks was a great thing to collect because they were mostly free. You can find them alongside the road, on a trail in the mountains, alongside of a body of water, so that made it fun. And again, I enjoyed having a lot of variety of a particular item that brought a smile to my face. So another thing that brings a smile to my face is putting this nib to paper, so let's do that. So hopefully you can hear that this is a smooth nib, pretty much as smooth as any fine steel nib's going to be. As usual, I had a brain fart. This is an extra fine nib, and the reason why I get confused is it just writes extremely well. And that's something I expect from an extra fine nib, and that makes this smoothness even more unique. And that's why I thought it was a fine nib, but my brain reminded me as I finished the first filming that it's an extra fine. So if you like extra fine nibs, check out the Kaigelu extra fine nib. I'm pretty certain you'll enjoy using it. There's a little bit of feedback, but to me it's just the perfect amount. This is not a nib you're going to flex or put pressure on, and yeah, you can get a little bit more ink flow, but in a normal writing you're not going to be doing that. I think we can zoom in a little bit. So as I mentioned, I enjoy collecting. I enjoy having a lot of things. So these pens are a great piece. Plus, as an engineer, I just enjoy the build, the materials, fit and finish, and it's a functional writing instrument. The other thing that's fun is I've definitely made a large number of new friends because I publish YouTube videos, and some of them have actually been real life in person friends, so that's been a benefit to participating and sharing my knowledge, and I get more and more feedback from people, and that's also great because I enjoy learning. And one thing that I can always say is you can never stop learning, and you never should. Always explore, expand, do new things. That's what life, to me, is for. So let's rate this particular pen with this particular nib, and I'm going to give it a 9.6. It gets 2 checks for fit, finish, build quality, ergonomics, variety, and the nib gets 2 checks. And it comes in extra fine, fine, medium, and the medium is a pretty nice broad wet medium. You've seen that in some of my other videos, and suggest you check out the Kaigelu playlist. So we've reached the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Enjoy my other videos. Hopefully you enjoy your life every day, every minute. Enjoy everything, the little things, the big things. Enjoy putting ink on paper. Enjoy your pens. They're a wonderful addition to me, to your day-to-day. And I use my fountain pens every day in a variety of situations and enjoy all of them. Hopefully this video finds you safe healthy, and happy. And we've reached the end. And this pen writes first time every time. Very, very consistent. And this trauma ink is starting to really grow on me. Looking forward to the other colors that I have. On that note, we're going to say bye until the next video. And yes, there's a number of pens waiting for their spotlight.